Last week we put up our introductory video about the 2018 hill climb season, and if you haven't checked that, go watch that first because that puts all of this into context.
This week we're going to go over our first proper weekend of racing, which was local for me, and Reuben went all the way up to Scotland. We're going to go over a bit of racing data, again from me, and Reuben is going to go into some more detail about his all new and very fancy Reilly hill climb bike.
I am not with Joe this weekend, but we are both doing hill climbs, and I am up in beautiful Scotland taking part in, it's not an open, it's not a CTT event, it's a private event called Jukes Weekender. It's a bit of a weird one. It starts with a closed road hill climb over Jukes Pass, and that's just the first day. We also have a 63-kilometre enduro gravel event / race, and for those that know me know I absolutely love those sorts of events. So it's a bit of a weird start to the September-October hill climb season window. Jukes Pass hill climb, I think it's about 2 kilometres in length. I've actually just done a recce of it. It feels very similar to Dundry, which, as you know, or as you should know from the first hill climb video, is our local training hill just based in Bristol. I haven't been able to ride the hill climb bike, which I can now tell you is built, but for those taking part in the hill climb and the gravel race, you actually have to ride the same bike. So I'm riding my open upper, but I am going to be riding road wheels, road tyres, and swap over for Sunday, which you are allowed to do. So it is an interesting event. It combines my 2018 passions of hill climbs and gravel and enduro events. So I'm very happy to be here. So I'm home now after the long drive back from Scotland. I think on reflection of the weekend, I'm very happy with how I got on. I even managed to pick up a bit of hardware for my efforts, very solid Trussock stone there. So I finished third in the hill climb, that's out of the seniors and vets, and after the whole weekend, which was the hill climb and the gravel enduro, I finished third overall, so I'm incredibly happy with that. I'm fully expecting never to be on a hill climb podium again, so I'm riding this high while it's lasting. I don't have any power data for you, unfortunately, as I didn't run a power meter on that bike, so I had to ride it on feel. And I think in hindsight, I definitely went off a bit too hard. I was really struggling the final straight up over the top to the finish line, and I couldn't even muster up a sprint. I did the final section seated, so I was really tired by then.
It's Saturday and it's the first open hill climb of the year at Dursey Road Club. It's up a pretty steep hill, probably about 4.5 to 5 minutes depending on how quick you are. And in typical British hill climb weather, it's been a bit of rain, the roads are wet, look a bit of stones on the road and stuff like that, so I've got to be careful with the tyres. But yeah, looking good. So I better go and sign on, and I need a poo, so I better go to the toilet. I'm going. How you doing? Good to see you. It's gonna be exciting. Number 40. Now I've got to see if I can squeeze into the teeny skin suit. All back now. It went pretty well. I think I was like 8th maybe. The level is really high this year. There's some like amazing riders, so it's good to see the series getting, and hill climbs getting more and more popular. Pacing was good, but I think it always takes a couple of these to get the hang of like how deep you can go, how deep you dare push at the end, and I think I had a little bit left in the tank at the end. It was really hurting, but I didn't have that like base numbing, couldn't feel my arms kind of ultimate pain. So hopefully tomorrow we'll kind of have another go at like, yeah, getting that, opening up the taps in that last minute and really going for it. Sunday, hill climb number 2 of the weekend. A bit sore from yesterday, but not too bad. This one's quite a shallow, fast one, so we'll see how we go. Weather's pretty good.
30 seconds.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
How you feeling, Joe?
You were smiling over the
rough now. But like after yesterday, I still with a bit of regret. I didn't think I tried hard enough, but I definitely did that time. I couldn't feel my arms or my nose.
I couldn't.
Wobbly. Good day. Just a little sliver of cake. A little hill climb sliver.
What is that?
So just looking at my power data from the weekend, and the first was Saturday, which is the Dursley Road Club hill climb. My final time was 4:55.56. For the power nerds out there, I averaged 419 watts, and for me at 63 kilos, that's 6.55 watts per kilo, which isn't too bad for me. In a hill climb, you don't want to see your power going up in the last few seconds. If anything, you want to be kind of dropping down a bit, I think. So the fact that I was able to muster a sprint and get it back up to like 465 watts, you can see there. Yeah, the fact that I could hit that meant that I probably left a little bit too much in the tank. But that does mean that on Sunday for the Somerset Road Club, I give it a bit more beans then. That was a slightly shorter time, so Training Peak says about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I averaged 432 watts for that one, so that's about 6.75, 6.8 watts per kilo. If I look at the power file here, I definitely was able to give it some real beans in the last kind of minute or so, 2 minutes, getting up to like 480. Totally blew, and then yeah, was dribbling in the last kind of 20, 30 seconds and ended up driven over the line at like 410, 390. So yeah, I felt like I really got it all out on that occasion. I was much more pleased with that ride, so yeah. So Reuben.
Hello.
There you are.
Yeah.
It's raining outside, so we're in your garage, but
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about your new Reilly hill climb bike?
So yeah, Reilly, small British company based down in Brighton. This is their 600 SL frame set. I think all told, with all the hardware bits, it came in at 881. So a little bit heavier than I said last week, but now it's got a bit of decals, a lack of finish to it, but no paint. It comes with their own fork, their own headset, their own top cap, but I have some other bits. So I dug out some old 3T Ergonova carbon handlebars. I'm still whether in two minds whether to cut them or not, just across there, which is a hill climb classic.
Let us know in the comments if you think Reuben should cut his bars, make him cry.
I've got a KCNC very light 97 gram stem. It's 90mm at the moment. I think maybe it might be a bit too short, but that's something to refine throughout the season. I have my favourite saddle, although it's not the lightest saddle. It's a Specialized Power Pro. I do have something pretty, well, scarily light on the way, so fingers crossed that will work. I have a Mount Zoom carbon seat post, again very light, but I haven't weighed it yet, so I will update that in the future. Some other bits, I have some hand-me-down brakes from Joe, some SRAM Force just for the time being, and I dug out some old Ultegra brakes for the rear.
So you're going to upgrade that in the future?
I'm going to upgrade that in the future. I think the thing about hill climb bikes is they don't have to be ready at the start of the season. You just have them, well, the bike evolves until the Nationals. I've got some very fancy wheels from FSE, Filament Spin Evolution. They, without the tyres, they are 887 grams, which is quite insane.
That's so light.
They are tubs.
What tyres do you go for?
Continental Podium TT, 25mm, so fairly sensible width. I'm not going to run a 19mm like you see some people do just because 25 standard. I'm happy with that.
So you're going for kind of slightly tougher, wider tyres?
Yeah, because I'm not the lightest. I'm not 63 kilos. So I'd rather have the sensible option. Down below, I have a Rota InPower single-sided power meter with a 40 tooth Hope chainring. I have a SRAM Red 1125 cassette and a red rear mech. I'm a bit worried about the gearing, but I think Chard and then the weekend after, we've got some faster hill climbs, so not too steep. I think I might knock the chainring down to a 38 for the hillier ones, but say, I'll see how I get on with this current setup. If If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You have the following week to change things.
And I guess the thing we all want to know is, although it hasn't got pedals on it, I can see there, how light is it? I
did weigh it with pedals just after it was built. So with my Ultegra pedals kicking around over there, it was 5.8 on the dot. So there's a few things to refine. I reckon I can get it down to about 5.5, 5.6, and I'll be very happy with that. Now, oh, the chain, that's a YBN titanium chain, and it was, I think, 106 links with 207 grams, but I've taken a few links out, so it's a little bit lighter, but supposedly very strong and very light.
It's a scary looking chain.
Yeah, but it matches the orange decals quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, although it's gold, so it's got to be good,
It's got to be good, and I've got to do it justice now.
And the only other thing I can see from here is that it's externally routed.
Externally routed, and I actually didn't know that until the frame arrived, and I was very happy because it makes life a million times easier. So that's the first week of the official hill climb season done, and I think we're both pretty pleased with how we got on. As mentioned in the last video, do let us know in the comments about what you'd like to see in future videos. So far we've had a lot of requests about the nutrition, the training, the warm-up before the races, the bikes, and what goes into putting on one of these events.
Hopefully we'll get around to covering all of those during the next couple of months, but next week we're going to be covering the nutrition and what goes into kind of your diet during the hill climb season. Along with that, we're also doing our first proper hill climb together, which is the first Child Wheelers hill climb in the southwest. Bye!